We're really diving in today functional medicine and natural health kind of principles to stave off stress during the holiday season and when traveling and such. That's really the title and the topic of today's chat. So, off the bat, we also can be utilizing natural antioxidants to help deal with stress when we're flying too. I'm always a big fan of when flying or travel or vacation starts, I'm going to be adding in glutathione and or glutathione precursors. This is kind of our body's natural, very most powerful antioxidant. It's a tripeptide antioxidant. And we're going to use this at higher levels to deal with stress from travel, just the radiation you're exposed to when traveling. We're also going to do maybe natural medicinal mushrooms or herbs like astragalus, andrographis, echinacea. We're going to be doing things like this to help bump up our immune system. In my supplement line, I have a product called Immuno Supreme, and that's powerful. That has a couple of different herbs in there, some medicinal mushrooms, and it has some of the astragalus and echinacea that kind of gets your immune system ready. So it's just kind of getting those natural killer cells up and ready on attention. So if we get exposed to any viruses or bugs, we're more likely to stave off an attack. So herbal support, medicinal mushrooms, reishi, astragalus, echinacea, these are going to be very powerful. And then, of course, things to naturally deal with oxidative stress, which could be glutathione, high dose vitamin C, which is going to help with glutathione as well. I'd also say you could even add in some natural anti-inflammatory support like curcumin. But I'd say if you're going to keep it simple, high dose glutathione and vitamin C is going to be very, very powerful.
Good advice. A lot of people post articles and snippets and all that about top 10 ways to naturally fight the flu or top 10 ways to naturally fight a cold. It's like, well, wouldn't it be better if you could just keep your immune system on alert, like you mentioned, and upregulate these immune system pathways as opposed to getting sick and then now you're trying to read an article on how to get yourself unsick? Like, just if you are on these herbs and your immune system's upregulated, you may not even have to go to the top 10 natural ways to fight the flu because you never got the flu because your immune system was so strong.
100%. So on the vitamin C, we're going to do a couple of grams. So anywhere between 2 to 5 or 6 grams on the vitamin C. Again, typically just below bowel tolerance is ideal. So a lot of people will start getting loose stools around 6 to 10 grams or 6 to 10,000 milligrams. So somewhere in that 2 to 5, 2 to 6 gram dosage range is probably good. You may have to feel it out to see where you sit. And then in regards to reishi, I'll go anywhere between 2 to 5 grams a day, probably closer to 2 to 3 if I'm just trying to like get my immune system upregulated and I'm not fighting something, probably like 2 to 3 grams just to be like, okay, I'm ready to go. And then acutely, I'll go up to 3 to 5 if it's really acute. And then I would say with the glutathione, probably, up to a gram or so a day on the glutathione to get my immune system kind of hyper regulated and ready to go.
Yep.